robust urban garlic flavor.
But yeah, see it on camera. Bad view. Well, that's like the best I could do with my setup. That's like the best you could do with the setup here. And how did it look? I couldn't see it at all. Did it look all right?
So this incident probably stems from Darkside Phil the locale once demanding money because someone wanted him to do 25 push-ups for money. He didn't show it on camera. Here is Phil doing it on camera. Everybody's saying he's doing it on his knees. The thing that I notice is once he tries to do the 6 push-up, his arms start wobbling, and that's a sign that he's at his limit. So the question is, if he's doing a lot of these resistance workouts with dumbbells and things like that, like I was under the impression that he was bench pressing, he should be able to do a lot more push-ups unless he's like incredibly sore, but it's like 6 and he's been claiming to be working out like 5 days a week for 6+ months. That doesn't add up. All right, so now we move into today's topic where Dave Burnell tells us how e-begging is essential to the content that he makes today. Let's get into it.
So last night, I had a stream scheduled for Ninja Gaiden 4, okay, continuing the playthrough. Now, admittedly, Ninja Gaiden 4 has been up and down. The first stream of Ninja Gaiden 4, I blew it, because when I was playing it, all right, I basically spent way too much time on an optional challenge room. In reality, I do feel like that challenge room was very, very much misdesigned. They did a combat challenge room before you got all your combat abilities. So because you didn't have them all, the challenge room was insanely difficult. After that, all the other challenge rooms are way easier. Why make the first challenge room in the game the hardest one? That doesn't even make sense. You're still in the intro of the game. Why are you getting your balls crushed? But anyway, I kind of blew it because I spent 45 minutes on a challenge room. I raged, and it killed the momentum of the first night playing the game. It really did.
Honestly, Phil being terrible at a video game and raging at it sounds like a good time, but I guess his dents didn't feel that way. And you notice for once, Phil is actually blaming himself and not the game. Who would have thought?
After that, I recovered. I started playing way better, and because of that, I ended up getting a lot of momentum. I got new weapons, new boss fights, you know, really showed off the graphics of the game and how the game runs really well, and how the camera's all over the place with all this action and stuff like that. But then what ended up happening was when I got to the 3rd and 4th streams, the game just showed its kind of cracks. It's just so repetitive. A game like this in the 2000s, it stood out because it was like, whoa, it's blowing me away with its graphics and there's so much combat. But now, the truth is, the game is just kind of repetitive. It seems like it's more of an outdated game. You know, back in, what was it, March? We were playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. That was great and refreshing because it was a throwback to a game from the past, redone with the modern graphics and, you know, modern things. So it felt refreshed and it was interesting, okay? But basically what ended up happening was, after playing that throwback game, playing the new one makes it feel too samey. It's kind of like if you, like years ago, I played Mario, and then after that, I played another Mario game. Horrible idea. You can't play double Mario, right?
Yeah, you see, Phil here is a variety streamer, which means he has to constantly shuffle through games in different genres because his dents get bored of what he's playing. So after like 5 streams, every playthrough he has just falls to the dust besides ones that are only Iced Coffee supported and approved.
Right now I'm finishing Silk Song. Would it be a good idea to go right into the original Hollow Knight? No, that's oversaturation. It's too much of the same.
It depends on how often you play it and if your fans will support it. You were ready to wage quit Silk Song after playing it for like 2 hours. Then Only Ice Coffee stepped in and said, hey Phil, I'm going to support this playthrough. And then you played it. So if he said, hey, I'm going to support Hollow Knight regular game, you'd play it. We all know that's the case. It's only if the games are whale approved that you'll play them. Because you can't cobble enough of an audience together to support your playthroughs without the whales.
So having just played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black earlier in the year, jumping into 4 now kind of feels like, man, this is too much of an overload of the samey kind of game. And so last stream of it when I was playing, it just kind of felt boring. I'm going to be honest with you. Way too much of the same repetitive combat, not enough original stuff going on, and the audience got bored. Ended up getting low attendance, low engagement, and low support. And I said, well, we're going to put this off for like a week then. We'll bring it back next week when we have more time, and we'll see how it goes. All right? So here we are a week later. And with all the other games in the rotation that I'm playing, everyone's liking, I'm thinking, man, I got to go back to Ninja Gaiden 4, and I just don't know how it's going to do. And so during the break yesterday, after a really successful stream of Pokemon, I'm just thinking in my head, man, tonight I got to play Ninja Gaiden 4, and I just don't know if people are going to show up. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. It's like a light bulb goes off in my head again. And I'm like, wait a minute.
The whales aren't supporting these streams, so I should do something else.
It's 2025, okay? This is not 2017, 2018, where Phil was broke, where Phil bought games outright and had to commit to playing games in full length because I couldn't afford to play any other games. But I think in my mind, I'm still kind of stuck in that mindset a lot of the time. This is 2025 DSP. I've evolved, okay? I've matured, I've changed.
All right, here Phil goes on another stupid I've changed rant despite not changing at all. Here's what he's not telling you. Like 5 to 8 years ago when he was on Twitch, he had much larger audiences. He had like anywhere from 500 to 2,000 concurrent viewers daily. He barely scratches 500 on a marathon. He had more support back then, even though Twitch took out a bigger chunk than YouTube. He had more Twitch support and he had more tip support, obviously, because now he just goes super chats above all else. His video views on those playthroughs were more than they are today. You can go look back even 3 years ago. Look at his Elden Ring playthroughs. They have a lot of views comparatively. So he was getting more money on ad revenue than he is today. So it wasn't as big of a pressure of, oh, I need to constantly swap through these games because he was more successful. And also, he had access to credit back then, so he was racking up credit card debt. So he didn't necessarily need to lean on people for money all the time to play champions. The bankruptcy kind of changed that. And also, playing a game into the ground is really stupid because if you're having a playthrough, let's say you spent $60 to play a game and then you have 5 streams and the average is $30 and you just keep playing that game, you could have just spent $60 on another game and let's say that made you $100 for playthrough. Now you have a lot bigger profit margin. You're telling me Phil never did this in the past? He just played games into the ground all the time? No way. No way would he accept constant $25 streams. Like I remember back in 22, Pokemon Scarlet, he moved it to the night stream because it wasn't getting as much support as he wanted on the day stream. What does that tell you? He was wage quitting games back then too. He just didn't make a huge deal about it or as an immediate deal about it. So yet again, he's just lying through his teeth and just making stuff up.
I now listen to my audience and I give you guys what you want.
When he means listen to them, he's not talking about listening to them in the chat. He rarely ever does that. What he's talking about is the money. If the money's coming in, he's saying, oh, I'm keeping this game. If the money doesn't come in, the game gets it. It's either $150 or the game gets it, and he's going to continuously beat this into your head throughout the streams. So that's his form of listening. Just insane pressure moments. The only person he listens to is Only Iced Coffee because Only Iced Coffee brings the money.
So if I've already played Ninja Gaiden for 8 hours, and by the end of the 8 hours, I've got low engagement and low support, it means you guys don't like the game, right? Now, I think the game's all right. I'm not in love with Ninja Gaiden 4, but I also realize it is repetitive. I was getting a little bored of it the last stream, and I was hoping that things would pick up this one. But I'm thinking in my head, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't need to play it.
Yeah, he's trying to convince us he was so thick-headed and stupid that he didn't do this in the past. Like, come on. I know you whined like it was a big deal years ago when you told people, oh, I can't afford Gotham Knights today if you don't give me money. But back then, a lot of the games you were playing were huge AAA games that got a lot of eyes on them. God of War, stuff like that. You just seem to be picking and choosing games you want to play. You didn't even want to play Silksong despite it having a huge following behind it. Only Ice had to twist your arm to do so. So you just seem to be picking games that you want to play instead of ones that people want to see. And then you pressure your audience into giving you money anyway, because you make them think they want to see you play these stupid games. It really is just lunacy in motion.
We could do whatever we want. We could hang out. We could play a different game. We could, we could do whatever we could do with my time. My time is valuable. People want me to do a million things every stream. Phil, when are you playing this game? Are you going to react to this content? What are you going to do with this? Will you do this? People want to see me do things. That's cool.
You know what is the dumbest thing about this? He used to do really well on Premiere streams where he was getting like anywhere from $200 to $500 just for the first stream of a game. Now it's not like that at all. And the odd thing is there are so many games that people want to see Phil play allegedly, but he does these stupid Phil and chill segments instead. Why not buy a game, test it, and then get those big day one support? Because people love to throw you money the first day. It just doesn't seem like it's happening this year. Like, I think a big example of that would be Tony Hawk. He wage quit the game, RoboCop DLC, wage quit immediately. So I guess his whales are dwindling, or people who are just giving him a certain amount of money were dwindling. Like, a 1 Minute Man is gone. For years I thought he was fake, but then he just stopped showing up. That was an extra $25 each stream, or each day, that Phil was missing out on. That's a lot of money that accumulates. That's thousands of dollars he's missing out on a year just because he annoyed one viewer.
It's not like back in the day at all. It's so different. Things have gotten much better. And I need to get used to that mindset. I'm not. I'm still kind of stuck in that rut of, oh my God, Phil, you're hard off. You got to finish every game you play. You got to tough through everything. I don't.
That is an absolute lie. Complete 220 BS right there. You know why? He constantly threatens to wage quit games. He has wage quit at least 40 games this year. He is just trying to get you suckered hook, line, and sinker. He is constantly switching games. He is constantly declaring, hey, there are so many games that my fans want me to play. We can do something else. He is completely lying and trying to get you to stupidly fork over your money out of pity and stupidity, which some people are. The term wage quit has only really been something that's been around for this year. It may have been longer, but I don't know. Because Phil has been aggressively telling his audience, if you don't pay me $150 every single stream, the game gets it.
We're better than that now, okay? So in this case, I said, if I'm having this anxiety about playing Ninja Gaiden 4, then I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play Ninja Gaiden 4. Yeah. What do I care?
He's not having anxiety from Ninja Gaiden 4. He's having anxiety thinking that he's not going to get a ton of money for playing Ninja Gaiden 4. Again, he is trying to emotionally manipulate you into giving him money. Anyone that has an IQ over 80 can see right through it. Phil caters to people who take everything he says at face value.
So we didn't do it last night. Instead, on the fly, I called an audible, and we did a Chill with Phil stream. The Chill with Phil stream went incredibly well, all right? We had a high attendance. Like, overall, I think we had almost 400 viewers for a Chill with Phil stream when I was only getting 200 viewers for Ninja Gaiden 2, or excuse me, Ninja Gaiden 4. Engagement was sky high. We got all kinds of feedback on things such as, what should the next game that I play be? What should we do during this upcoming event that I'm going to do for Black Friday? We had great discussion.
Most of the time when he means discussion, it's him dominating everything, not listening to what his fans are saying, and just saying, hey, you're stupid if they actually give him constructive criticism. His idea of a conversation or a discussion is him speaking 99% of the time. Now, obviously, there aren't anybody else speaking on his live stream, but you can tell he doesn't really have back and forths with his fans. He's like, oh, hi, Jade. What's it doing like that? Like, those are the people he talks to, the people he thinks that he is superior to. Everybody else he dismisses.
Support was outstanding. I raised over $200 on this Chill stream. I actually had the epiphany. Oh my God, I still have those WWE trading cards in my closet. They've been sitting there for 7 months since I quit doing Smart Guys. They're just collecting dust. Let's open them on stream. We opened trading cards. We had a great time.
And of course, this toxic e-begging gaslighter leaves this fact out that conveniently, he demanded $50 to open those stupid trading cards. Yeah, so he's acting like, oh, we're just having a chill fun time. No, every single thing is monetized. And guess who paid for those $50 trading cards? Princess Luna, representing Phil's robust female audience of -20.
Or we could have sat here and I could have played Ninja Gaiden 4 for 2 hours. We all would have been bored to tears and it would have been a sucky stream. Why did I waste my time?
Come on, dude. It's a Dark Side Phil stream. We're all wasting our time here. It's the exact same thing over and over again, and you trying to lie to your audience to get them to think whatever you want them to think on this particular day. It's not that complicated, Phil. You're just trying to weasel your way into an extra $150 and saying, hey, I constantly need this and I constantly deserve this because I am just putting out stuff on OBS. I'm entertaining, guys. Look, no, you're only entertaining for ironic reasons.
So this is what I need to do. I need to start making better use of my time. Instead of wasting time on things you guys aren't liking and I'm basically bored with, why are we doing that? This is a game, especially Ninja Gaiden 4, I didn't even buy it. It's a Game Pass game. Why am I acting like it's some $70 investment that I'm stuck playing? It's not. Okay?
Yeah, somebody told me that DSP thinks he needs to make like 10 times the amount that the game is worth to consider it to be a successful playthrough, but it's like if he's playing something like, let's say God of War, for instance, that he's going to play for like 50 parts, which is like 15 streams, if not 20, he's probably expecting $100 for each stream, so that's like $1,500 to $2,000 alone. And it's like, he never had this idea, hey, I gotta cut my losses. If I'm only gonna make $500 on the game, there's no point in trying to squeeze it out so I can get an extra $200 when I can just switch to another game and that game will make more money on those streams than the streams I have. Like, he didn't figure this out. Like, he is so BSing us right now. He really thinks his audience is really that dumb, because if he really thought like that, he's a complete idiot. He's more of an idiot than we ever realized. 1, he can write off all the games that he plays on his taxes. 2, he switches games all the time. I'm sure there are games, if we go back, either rage quit or wage quit them. And the rage quitting was probably on account of the wages being low. Has anybody ever thought about that? So yeah, this is just total nonsense right here. For like $70 games, once he's eclipsed $80, he's swimming in profit. You don't have to play any of those games. You cut all your losses. Now you can move on to the next one. But he's like, oh, if I'm playing all these games, I'm not going to make as much money. It depends on the type of game. If a game isn't resonating, he's going to move on to the other thing. Like, him saying he never did this in the past is just a complete nonsense. I know he prided himself on being a guy that completed playthroughs, but as a live streamer, you don't do that. You go where the money is. And he's had tons of business meetings and daily raps from years past that hit on that. So him pretending now like, oh, I never stopped playing a playthrough is complete nonsense. It's just that he's saying it constantly on his streams, where it'd probably be relegated to like the end of the stream or a daily rap in the past.
So I'm very happy that that happened. If you didn't see it, the archived Chill with Phil is available on this channel. I just left it as the archive stream, so you could just watch it in its entirety, all right? It was a great time. It was a good 2.5-hour hangout session, and it went really, really well, okay?
Yeah, the thing is, Phil is really dumb in that he never leaves his live streams up because he thinks, oh, people want to just see the podcast, people just want to see the gameplay, yet he chops up the gameplay into smaller pieces. He's like, oh, I don't want to sift through it and add timestamps. What he doesn't get, he could just have a piece of paper and just write down, okay, this is the timestamp of the stream, I will put that in after the video. It would actually save him a lot of time than just uploading all the files to OBS. But he's stupid, so he's like, okay, I'll just go hit upload, just have a random description with no tags so nobody will find the video, and I'll just hit public so it will publish it regardless of whether I see the monetization status of it or not. He's dumb, and that's why nobody is watching his videos, and he's entirely reliant on his live stream revenue.
Shinken25 tipped $1. Do you think abandoning games is going against what you built your brand on? You were well known for finishing games and considered reliable. Now you're all over the place with random streams. I remember what you said, if you're bored, you're boring.
I will say this, him not finishing playthroughs is not a big deal because it's about what the audience wants. You can tell by viewership, you can tell by money, you can tell by how many contributions you have, you can tell by likes, you can tell by watch time, okay? You can tell by how fast the chat is moving. You could tell what the chat is talking about. Those are all metrics that feed into this puzzle. If you're a regular live streamer, all those things are important. If you're Phil, only the money's important. So he's like, 150 of the game gets it, and that's the issue. It's him constantly pressuring his audience to give him money to complete these playthroughs. He doesn't see how stupid that is in the long term, because people are going to say, hey, if he's starting to quit every game, I'm going to hold my support for the games that I want to see, or I'm going to wait until the last minute to support the stream, because I don't know if he's going to hit the goal, because if he sits at 50 all night and I give him $5, then all my money's wasted because he's just going to wage quit the game regardless. That's not how you build trust with your audience. And he constantly talks about, oh, I have so many games to play, that it's like, yeah, he's going to be looking for excuses to stop playing these games. And the issue is, he hates playing video games. So he's not going to actually be interested in finishing a playthrough unless the support stays consistent. If it drops off like 10, 20, 30%, he's like, nah, I'm just gonna go play a game where I can beg more effectively with it.
Shinken25, it's not 2011. It's 2025. And as a creator, you need to evolve with the times, and you need to listen to feedback from your viewers for what they want.
Yeah, remember at the beginning of September where he wage quit Truck Sim despite the stream being a moneymaker for him and his fans actually enjoying it for some reason? Remember when he wage quit Minecraft after one stream of it not hitting a goal because the begging just didn't work that night? He really listens to what his audience wants, sure Phil. You just listen to the big fat whale tip.
There was a time when, if you were a content creator on YouTube for gaming, you could run out and buy the game at the same time that everyone else could. You could rush home, unbox the game because there was actually stuff to show in the box, and do a release day unboxing video. And then you could start playing immediately. You could beat the game within 2 days, upload it, and you could be one of the first people on the planet to have a full playthrough of the game on the internet. That was the name of the game over a decade ago.
Which was really stupid how that worked, because what Phil did, he uploaded a bunch of 10-minute videos onto his various channels, and they would accumulate a lot of views. Apparently his strategy was to suffocate the algorithm, so his were the only videos that popped up. Because if you think about it, if he uploads 50 videos a day and somebody else only uploads one video of the game but it's 10 minutes, his channel is just going to accumulate more watch time because he has more videos. So apparently that's how he broke through the algorithm, because if he had part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 and people were looking for the games, his videos would show up more often than not because he just had so many of them. What happened to him was his downfall stopped because there was something called the reply girls, and they would just respond to every popular video because they'd have an alluring thumbnail, but the videos would be hot garbage. Everybody disliked them, the watch time was low. So what happened after that is YouTube changed its algorithm to be about how long people watch the content. And guess who suffered from that? Darkside Phil, because he was not sticking with the time. So even though he was producing 50 videos in a day, those videos were him filming off of his TV. Compared to people who were using a capture card, he was beginning to lose ground because people are like, hey, I'm not going to watch this guy play TV. Everybody else has capture cards right now. So while it was acceptable before, it isn't now. And that's how Darkside Phil lost interest. Also, there was issues with copyright and trolls messing with him, so he had to private a lot of his videos, or Machinima told him to do it, and that also hurt his standing in the algorithm too. But he just failed to adapt. He failed to change the way he does things. He still basically does the same thing. Instead of 10-minute videos nowadays, they're hour-long videos. That's where he cuts it each and every time. And as a result of that, people are like, what is this? I don't want to watch this. I want to see highlights. I don't want to see unedited raw stuff. That is just a lot of meandering around a lot of times.
In 2025, there's already 100 people who have the game before you, who play the game before you, who stream the game before you, who have the entirety of the game on the internet before you, and have already reviewed the game before you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, the thing is, Phil, you could have been one of those people if you weren't such an idiot and refused to evolve. Because we know there's a lot of terrible people out there that have done terrible things and they're still affiliated and get early access. You could have been one of them, Phil. It sucks to be you because you're so thick-headed and stupid. So what he's saying here is that he can't be early now, so he has to be entertaining. And the reality is he's bad at that. If he was actually entertaining, he had such a foothold from being in early, he could still average 10,000 views for his raw unedited gameplay if he was actually popular. If he was actually entertaining, but he's not. If he was actually entertaining, he could probably have an audience of over 1,000 people every single day, and he wouldn't have these issues hitting the goals or being reliant on whales. But he's not, because he doesn't accept troll contributions. He bans you. He doesn't let you talk about what you want to talk about in the chat. You can only talk about him in a positive light or the game. He doesn't make going to his streams fun. He makes it like going to work and sitting all day through a boring business meeting. That's what he doesn't get. Now, there may be some weirdos out there that love that unironically, but for everybody else, no. They leave or they go watch on Raw Phil, and that becomes a huge problem that exacerbates itself because people are watching you, but they aren't watching you on your terms.
Rushing to beat a game, completing every game in its entirety is no longer the name of the game at all. What the name of the game is today is finding a project that people want to see to the end.
No, it's not, because if you have a game that makes $500 on each stream for 5 streams, then the money stops coming in. It's still a successful playthrough. You don't get that. It doesn't matter if they're spending $150 each stream. It's about the averages, not about if there's highs and lows and dips. You're so stupid that you would take a playthrough that gets $150 on the dot every single stream instead of a playthrough that has ups and downs but averages $200 per stream by the end of it.
And that people will show up, engage, and support. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 people, 20 people, 200 people, or 2,000 people. As long as the people are there and supporting of you, it doesn't matter.
No, Phil, the amount of people supporting you matters because the more people you have, the less risk and variance you have. If you have only 2 people supporting you, you need them to give you tons of money. If you have 200 people supporting you, you don't need as much money from each person. But you take it as a slight if somebody doesn't give you like $20 a contribution. So you don't get that. You don't get that those $2 and $5 tips add up. If you had 2,000 people where okay, not all of them supported every stream, but like 200 people came in supporting your streams all the time, you'd be hitting like anywhere from $400 to $1,000 each stream, and you'd be a millionaire if you were able to sustain that for the amount of streaming you do each week.
That's the difference between me and these other people who are all about, oh, how many views am I getting on my stream today? What's the level of this or that? None of that matters.
It matters now on YouTube because the more people watching, the more ads are shown. It matters on Twitch because ads are shown. It probably matters on Kick too because they probably pay you more if more people are viewing your stream. He just wants to beat it into his fans' heads that they have to contribute money to him, and they have to contribute a lot of money to him.
What matters is, are you entertaining enough of an audience that you can maintain consistent engagement and support? And if you are, you're doing the right thing.
Phil, the same concept revolves around running a YouTube channel too, except the thing is it's about views, likes, and watch time instead of panhandling aggressively for money, which you don't get. You don't understand how you got views in the first place. You just pumped a lot of videos in the algorithm, and the algorithm picked it up, and he's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm getting 10,000 views a video. I'll just keep posting, and I'll get all these views. You don't realize it was watching you or watching paint dry. And when there became a lot more options, this technology became more accessible where people could post gameplay and edit their stuff, you fell the way of the dodo.
And if you're not, move on to something people want. That's how you entertain an audience in the modern era. Back in the day, it was my thing to rush and get a game first and get the playthrough out. Those days are long gone.
Yeah, it only really lasted for 2-3 years. He started falling off in 2011. He just had a head start over everybody else, and he had such a huge volume that YouTube was like, hey, people are watching like 5 videos of this guy. It doesn't matter if they're not watching all 50, but if they're watching 5, that's enough, because he's getting views. Now it doesn't matter because the people who click on a video are gone within 2 minutes.
Long gone. The industry changed to the point where now the people who get this stuff early are paid shills. These are people who have contractual agreements to not break street date, to not, there's review embargoes and like that.
Phil, those things are meant so that the game isn't leaked online, even though it is most of the time, before the games come out in stores so people can buy it. Don't you get that? It doesn't make them shills. Yes, the people who are more positive about the products are more likely to get them, but usually it's whether the streamer is popular or not, because it gets more eyes on the game. Now, if there was somebody, let's say Darkside Phil for instance, that constantly disparages every single game and game developers regardless of the quality of the game, then yeah, they probably aren't going to get paid copies, because they're like, well, if he trashes everything, it's not likely that he's gonna praise my game. And I want it in front of large audiences where the streamer essentially advertises the product. That's how these things work. And they're not getting paid at all. They're just getting a game code, so they just don't pay for the game, Phil. You're acting like they get hundreds of thousands of dollars to play video games for them. No, you do that by leeching off of your audience.
They basically have to kiss the game's butt early, and they get the entire game on the internet first. Why do I give? What I care about is if I'm entertaining the audience, okay?
Are you implying that before you didn't care about entertaining your audience? We know you still really don't care, you just want to beg for money. But it's like, come on, man.
So there you go. I understand where you're coming from, but you are literally referencing a bygone era. Literally a bygone era of content that does not exist anymore. Okay?
I mean, the Rad Brad is still popular, so there are some streamers that are able to do it, but you are certainly not successful at it. I like how Phil thinks he's adapting when the reality is the only thing he's changed with his content is how aggressive he asks for your money, how aggressive he begs for your money, how aggressive he demands for your money. He's always been an e-beggar, but when he started streaming interactively, as he called it, it just became a non-stop aggressive panhandling circus.
And the sooner that we realize that, the better. It's time to stop referencing a long gone past and to realize what reality is in the present, okay?
I like how Phil refuses to admit that he isn't this content dinosaur from long ago that needs to pack it up. Dude, you are a joke. You struggle to get 1,000 views on a video that you publish these days. For someone that's been doing this 18 years and has hundreds of millions of views, that's pathetic. That shows that you have no idea what you're doing. That shows you got incredibly lucky. That shows you are incredibly lazy and want to put in the most minimal effort possible. And guess what happens? People tune out because they realize, hey, there's so many other options available that sticking with Phil is stupid. People are only there to see the spectacle of the lolcow 220 e-beggar demand money and cry about not getting the goals and cry about him being the constant victim of the internet, despite him being the person that puts himself front and center every single day and makes it a spectacle and makes it a huge drama session each and every time about whether he gets money or not. And then he wonders why people consider him toxic, why people consider him an idiot, why people consider him a boring content creator. It's because you don't know anything besides how to beg successfully. So you may have these whales who may be giving to you because they've been gaslit, or maybe they aren't gaslit. Maybe they have so much money to throw around and they're like, hey, this is actually pretty funny. I'll give him money to keep the train going. At some point, that thought has to cross his head, and he probably hates that. He probably hates that his biggest contributors may think he's a joke like everybody else, because thinking that he's a joke really gets under his skin. Alright everybody, I hope you liked this video. There was a lot of commentary in this relative to the clips, so let me know if you like that format or not. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. This is Robust turning off the station.
One thing that someone said last night was, if I'm going to react, listen to this. I should react to a documentary on LTG. Whoa! 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 Oh boy. You know what they call it is the vortex. These idiots are a vortex around me. I'm at the eye of the storm, living normally, living my life, making fun content, ignoring all the nonsense around me and outside of me because I don't care. It doesn't really affect me and my core content in any way. I just go through life doing my own thing. But these idiots who just orbit around me, orbiters, right? They're orbiting around me. Can't stop getting involved. Got to make content about it constantly. They almost become this insulation from me being able to reach out and do content with other creators. It has nothing to do with me.